Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a quick look at doing something that's very popular in games and programs in general, and that's remembering what a user picked. So let's take a quick peek here at a quick little coin tossing game that I wrote to sample this. And the game is pretty simple. All you do is you choose heads or tails, so I'll pick heads. Now I get to toss the coin, and if I'm right, my winning streak is going to go up. So toss, heads, and my winning streak goes up. Right? It remembered what I picked. Now let's say I'm going to pick tails. Toss. Oh, okay, so I'm going to do it faster now. I'm going to try to get this up. There we go. Let's go heads. Every time I do it, it remembers I've picked tails or heads, and when I toss, it knows whether I got it right or wrong. Oh, and the winning streak is adjusted. So let's go see how I handled the user pick. Now it's a really simple idea. Whenever you want to remember something, probably you're thinking to yourself, use a variable, and you're right, you want to use a variable. So all I've done here in my code is I've made this variable called pick. For this one, I've just done an integer. And let's just go see how I've used it. When I click heads, you'll see here, the first thing I do is I say pick equals 1. This is how I'm remembering that the user picked heads. Since I made my variable way up here, it's shared by the entire program. It's just going to live until the program finishes. And once I set it to 1, it's a 1 until I change it again. What this allows me later on in my code, after I toss, and let's just go to the toss, is I toss and find a value for the coin. I consider the heads to be 1, so if the toss was a 1, heads, else it must be tails. And then you can see here, which will be another new piece of code I show you, is I get the check back what the user picked. I can ask if the toss was equal to 1 and the user pick is equal to 1, then that must mean they were right, right? So I'm pulling up that variable that I previously set earlier in time. Now, is that a complicated idea? Hopefully not. Is it useful? Definitely useful. If you think about a lot of programs or games, you might do stuff like pick a weapon, pick a character, and then later on, when they go to fire, you got to decide what the right one to fire is. Well, go back and check the variable with an if statement. If they pick a character, you have to know what character to draw when the game is being played. So maybe you use an if statement and go, if the character is character 1, do this. If the character is character 2, you draw that. If the character is 3, draw this. So those are just some simple examples of how you can use this idea. So there's nothing too complicated about the idea. If anything, it's just supposed to emphasize that variables are basically free to use, and you can use them in your program anytime you want to remember something. So don't be shy with them. Make variables, try stuff out, create them, change them, and probably later on, check them. Okay, the 3 C's of variables. Okay, that's really the head design or the head tails coin toss game there. This, by the way, you can look at the solution code, but this is another excellent little game just to practice. Can you code this game? Very small, okay, not too many lines of code in there, but definitely you'll know whether it's working or not. And you get to use some variables and some if statements, and if statements that use and or inside of them. Thanks for watching.